Yo, Gabi here from Ray Studios, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing the Swellpro Splash 3 Plus. So first, let's get it out of the box. By the way, the box is actually this very nice carrying case that do offer a lot of protection to the drone and to everything you're gonna put inside. Inside, of course, you can see the drone, and the drone, you need to kind of set it up just a little bit every time you fly, since it comes in different parts of the box. We have instruction manuals, which I highly recommend you read, and we have the legs that are pretty easy to set it up and mount into the drone. We have the charger, which well, it's quite a brick and you need to learn how to use it. We also have the camera, the 4K camera, which is the biggest, one of the biggest cameras I experienced on every drone. It's as big as the Inspire 2.0 B3 that I used to have back in the day, so you get an idea of how big it is. Then we have another little box with more cables, the cables that you can use together with your charger. Then we have the remote control that, as you can see, is pretty big and with a lot of dials and levers and buttons and stuff. We have the propellers, which are carbon fiber, and they looks really good. And then we have a separate bag with a lot more cables, extra parts in case you lose some of the parts for the drone that I already have, the antennas and some other stuff that you might need. So this is not a common drone. It's very unique and special. What makes it special, you may be wondering? Well, this is fully waterproof. Not only fully waterproof, but the remote control is also fully waterproof and it can float. Now, it doesn't end there. The camera can film completely underwater. So it's kind of like having a little submarine that can fly. How incredible is this? So let's start talking a little bit about what this thing is capable of. Besides being waterproof, it also have a whole lot of other functions. Like, for example, it can be used for search and rescue because it can have an attachment of a 2-kilogram payload that you can release whenever you want. It also can replace the main 4K camera with another camera with heat sensor. So you can see, like in case of rescuing someone that got lost in a forest, where you can see where that person is, or it can have different uses. I'm really not into rescuing people, but yeah, so this thing have that function as well, and like I said, it's very unique in many different ways. But the one thing that makes it more unique for me is that it's waterproof and filming underwater. Besides being waterproof and fully underwater, this is also very rugged, so it can take a lot more punishment that maybe a DJI drone could take. Talking about DJI drones, they're very different kind of drones, so I don't think it's fair to compare them. I have right here a DJI Mavic Air, and you can see the size even is huge, but the image quality coming out of the little drone from DJI is very similar to the quality you get out of this 4K camera. So if you are thinking a bigger drone will give you better video, not exactly. This is not for that. For cinematic footage, I would say it's okay. I mean, if you need to film stuff that is on the beach, stuff that is underwater, well, this drone is gonna get you covered. But it's not particularly a great drone for that. For that, you might wanna get into, like, I don't know, a DJI Mavic Pro 2, or a bigger drone, maybe an Inspire. But overall, these have pretty good image quality, and well, what makes it very special is that it's waterproof. Now, since I already mentioned DJI, I wanna kind of like bring the difference a little bit between what a DJI drone can do and is compared to something like the Swellpro. So besides all the advantages that I just mentioned, there are some disadvantages. So for example, this is heavier, much heavier actually, and also you need to put it together. While a DJI drone is already ready to go, you just take it out of the bag and fly it. The remote control is rather huge. Look at this thing. This is pretty big, but also you have more controls. So I guess there is pros and cons to this. And it can float, like I mentioned before. Also have a built-in screen, but I consider that to be more of a disadvantage than an advantage. The reason I have a built-in screen is because, like I mentioned before, it's waterproof, so you can't really put your phone in there unless your phone is also waterproof, I guess. But the image quality out of this screen is not that great. Obviously, a phone is always going to be better because phones are made to have like this 4K amazing displays, especially if you have a flagship phone. While this is more like a full HD kind of image. The screen size is relatively big, so you can clearly see what's going on. Another big difference that I noticed between this drone and, let's say, a DJI drone is that, for example, the information on the screen is quite different. For example, the battery percentage in the battery remaining in your DJI is a percentage. You have like 70%, 80%. So that's easy for you to understand, especially if you never fly drones. But in here you have a voltage remaining, so you kind of have to make calculations. If you're not used to that, it's going to be a little bit more complicated. Also, charging the drone. You have this charger that kind of have to plug different cables into it, while, you know, like the batteries on other drones, you just plug them. You know, you have a specific charger of DJI drones as well, but it's a lot more simple than this. And you don't need this big brick for charging. But overall, I would say image quality is quite good. It gives you a lot of advantages over the conventional drones. Mostly the fact that you can film underwater. That's very, very, very unique. It's amazing. And it's rugged, so if you happen to live in a place where, you know, there is rough weather, you live by the beach, you live by the lake, in some mountain, you might want to invest in one of these because you know it's going to last you a really long time. Another thing that I really like about this is that one is on the water. If you're actually flying, for example, using it for surfing, and let's say you fall down on the water or something happen, or you're landing on water and a wave flip it around, well, you have a system that will automatically flip back. That's amazing. So you're never gonna really lose your drone while it's on water. I mean, it's very, very unlikely. One thing you need to keep in mind though is once you take it out of seawater, is to, you know, rinse it with normal water, just to get the bad things of the seawater out of the drone. Well, that's it for this review. Like I say, it's a very sturdy drone that is waterproof with a lot of special features like this thermal camera. I think it's like infrared thermal camera. I don't have it, I just have the 4K camera. That is, like I say, is quite good. 4K, of course, and fully waterproof. But yeah, it is a very, very, very good drone. Highly recommended. I'll put the link in the description down below. This is Gabi from Ray Studios. If you like this video, please make sure to give it a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. That will help me a lot if you do. And I'll catch you up in the next video.